Hi listeners, welcome to my channel. Saturn is going retrograde on 23rd of May and would remain retrograde till 10th of October. And it wouldn't be out of the shadow period till 15th of January 2022. To fully understand this transit, I'm reviewing both Saturn in Aquarius and Saturn square Uranus transit, which I have covered in much details in the past, but it bears repeating to be clear on what next 9 months expect of us. This is a preface or the part 1 of the Saturn retrograde transit. My name is Charu and I'm your host on this journey. So let's dig in. Saturn is the part of us that encourages us to create a workable, practical structure around what we are looking to achieve, so that whatever is contained within that vessel, we can take full responsibility of it and bring it to fruition with persistence, creating our own place in the outer world. It is the planet of boundaries, it is the planet of limitations and manifestation of physical form as well, all at the same time. This planet of structure is dignified in Aquarius till 7th of March 2023. I know due to multiple overlapping transit, it doesn't seem so, but it's about the best positioning of Saturn. It entered the sign first on 21st of March 2020, only for a preview till 1st of July 2020, followed by its full ingress into the sign Aquarius on 17th of December 2020. It comes in a sign for 2.5 years after 28 or 29 years and changes the long-term structure of our life. The rules that we live by for that house that it transits are changed forever. In Aquarius, Saturn restructures the collective mindset, giving every man, every woman equal opportunity to use their wisdom to create something structurally valuable with an element of humanitarian pulse in it. It makes brilliant scholars, as it gives us deep penetration of insights and to some extent isolation, where we can persistently work on those insights that the transit is giving us. Its unconscious expression is suppression of air. No natural circulation of air, no to and fro of ideas between minds and people. Another unconscious expression is fear of irrational elements. We are a lot in our minds. Though it creates a focus, a concentration of the mind which is unparalleled, it's stagnant air circulating without any outlet right now. But this stagnant air circulating within is pushing us to explore the potential of our own mind. This transit is a phase of transition where we are moving from personal will to development of group consciousness. I spoke of neuroplasticity and neurogenesis yesterday, the process of growth of our collective brains in response to stimulation of new experiences that we are undergoing. Every external transit in air sign creates new kind of brain responses. Saturn in Aquarius expands the part of our thinking process that has to do with the collective. We are together developing enhanced capabilities to be more responsive to the collective, to contribute to the society, more sensitivity to universal concerns, and a pressure to leave something to the world. That's your contribution to it. That's your legacy to it. It's not about fitting in. Far from it. Each individual is resonated in a way which is unique to their own being. And in that frequency, they wish to contribute their unique music to the collective. It comes with a collective pressure, as Saturn, if nothing else, but tough love. During this transit, we must develop a purpose which permits us to participate in a larger expression of the social reset we are all going to experience. Otherwise, if we do not have this purpose which allows us to participate in a larger expression of the social reset, we can feel lost during this transit. The global and the personal impact of Saturn in Aquarius is very different from Saturn in Capricorn that we just experienced. Saturn in Aquarius and Capricorn years, both together, they write history. Most people living it only see day by day pressure and are too busy trying to live it like we all are right now to realize that they are writing history. Very different history is though written when Saturn is in Aquarius versus when Saturn is in Capricorn. Saturn in Capricorn is what we experienced till 2020, especially the early part of 2020. It gives us the structure and it kind of forces us to create a structure that dignifies us as an individual, in our career, in our own workplace, in our own individual authority. And the motivation usually is losing something material. Scarcity is the thought process behind that motivation. Saturn in Aquarius is completely different. Saturn in Aquarius, which we are collectively experiencing right now, is a group movement. It connects us structurally to something bigger than our own individual career and identity. It connects us to a larger set of people. And the dignification in Saturn in Aquarius is not in individual career or individual work. It dignifies us in society with people. Holes in the society are exposed during Saturn in Aquarius. Similarly, gaps in our contribution to the society are also exposed. Gaps in our vision is also exposed to be structurally mended. Lower manifestation of Saturn in Aquarius is the desire to control the collective. And that comes to focus as well. But the higher manifestation of Saturn in Aquarius is of bringing more equality and justice to all groups of society. We collectively in Saturn in Aquarius create what we can hold on to in the face of volatility. Eye on our contribution to the society in face of volatility is the key theme. Networks change, how we connect change, supply chains restructure, reallocation of global capital happens, patterns of consumer behaviors change, mass behavior shifts, networks shift. There is wide popularity of free-for-all or humanitarian and tech solutions. World Wide Web was made available to all for unrestricted community use in the last Saturn in Aquarius transit. First steps to break up USSR were taken. Single EU market was birthed with Maastricht Treaty. End of apartheid happened in South Africa. Out of this world ideas are brought to reality. Completely out of this world, like putting man on the moon or making Jurassic Park. Consumer Bill of Rights was also signed in the last transit. We personally are also asked or pushed in some ways to streamline or detox the output of our own life, our vision, our associations, our network and social life, our contribution to the society, the rent that we pay for the cost of existence and for the cost of being born and belonging. We belong to the world in some ways and are asked to keep our individual ego aside to do what's best for the collective. We are also asked in some ways to ground our quirky ideas. Our break from tradition needs to find a useful outcome during this transit. A rebel has got to get a cause. We are urged to move our interests to a larger social circle. Success becomes our success. Failures are also taken together. What arouses our passions, calls our hearts, excites us, we are asked to make that accessible and available to the collective, to the masses. Our hopes and wishes go beyond superficial and beyond the eye and the mind. We are urged to find the tribe we belong to, the friends, the group of people who share our ideals. Aquarius is the nerve of the society, the veins that connect all of us intellectually. The gains are in associations and in restructuring how we truly connect with each other's mind and finding the right minds to connect with. Objectively, we rewire the society and its thinking along with our own connections to it for the next 29-30 years. Aquarius is about surpassing our differences and appreciating differences across cultures, nations, genders, etc. But with Saturn here, we as a society cannot fake equality. We cannot fake it. Those ideals of gender, culture, national equalities, they have to become rules and structures of the society. Saturn in Aquarius demands new ideas. Ideas win, and the old ideals and prejudice doesn't. We also have Saturn square Uranus this year. The first Saturn square Uranus aspect happened 14th of February. The second aspect is happening in June, on 14th of June, and we are already feeling that because it's already within the orb. And the last Saturn square Uranus will happen on 24th of December. There will be an almost Saturn square Uranus which will happen in October of 2022, but largely the outcome of this disruptive aspect, this constructively destructive aspect, will all be experienced this year. As a civilization, our growth is further accelerated with Uranus square to Saturn that we are experiencing throughout 2021. Uranus impels the collective to take action, to create radical change in existing oppressive personal or political bureaucratic paradigm. All tangible strides in advancement of human civilization like Magna Carta or American Revolution have involved this aspect. Saturn plays its part and takes the ideas that are pure rebel or intuition and births them into form, into structure, into rules, into regulations in which the innovation can play out for the good of all, crystallizing those innovation. It's the stronger of the two planets. Saturn is the dominant planet this year and the dispositor of Saturn square Uranus. In short, Saturn wins, even though Uranus disruption would shift the mindset and the psyche of the collective. It doesn't mean that we go back to the old, but it means that the new will be reformed through rules and regulations. This is the year of breaking free, but through combining self-discipline with experimentation, giving form to our uniqueness in productive forms as we are all being forced to harness our inner tension into a passion. Saturn being the stronger planet, it helps us manifest creative and inventive ideas into substantial achievements. The Saturn-Uranus cycle was seeded in 1988. First computer virus called Internet Worm was found. Iron Curtain of USSR was disintegrated. WHO initiated eradication of polio. Concept of World Wide Web was first discussed at CERN. NASA scientists testified to US Senate that man-made global warming had begun. UK banned broadcast interviews with IRA, with the Irish Army, and BBC found a way around it. Abortion drugs, though opposed, were still launched. We will revisit all of these and similar themes this year. We had last opposition of Saturn-Uranus in 2008-2010. For those who are old enough, 2008 to 2010 might have been a period when an old structure of your life would have cracked open to reveal your uniqueness in some ways. Comfortable stopped being okay. What brought order started feeling uncomfortable from 2008 to 2010. Barack Obama was elected on the day of Saturn-Uranus opposition, the first black president of United States. This was the time when neither of Saturn or Uranus were in their sign of dignity or strength. It's possible that the opposition of 2008 to 2010 failed to make the kind of dent you expected in your life. That's not the case right now. We are in the last quarter square of this aspect. Tremendous tension, which started in February this year, is an underlying theme of this aspect. This is the phase when final confrontation with what remains of the past occurs. RUDHYAR used to call this time when the failures have to be dissolved, the inertia challenged, and the ineffectual techniques given up. We hit that point in many ways in February. In Saturn square Uranus, people are sometimes shamed to have a different view, which in turn provokes revolt. Society is in turn blamed for coming across as judgmental, arrogant, close to change. This provokes a dividing force in the society. Uranus in Scorpio generation, people in their 40s, are having this while they're having their midlife transits as well, forming a T-square with many of their charts. That's provoking many in their 40s to create dramatic shifts in their careers, in their home life and relationship, and that theme will continue this year. Saturn is the stronger planet here. Rules and oppression of the new would be very strong, with people wanting to maintain status quo. Just like 𝐸∗𝕗, which is an archetype of Saturn, who swallowed his own children because of the risk of the new and of the risk of being dethroned. But you have to realize that Saturn itself is in Aquarius this year, not in Capricorn. It wants to evolve the kids it has swallowed. Even if it's Bitcoin or it's any other technical innovation or any new idea that you're having, it's on its own craving new ideas and evolution. So evolution is bound to come, but it will come in a format very different from where we started. Don't give in to the darkness of being in the womb, to the doomsday prophecies. In this period of unrest which we are experiencing, and we will continue to experience in each of these Saturn-Uranus contacts, people who invent and espouse solutions that blend the best of the old and the new, that pair the offbeat ideas and interest with solid, legal, structural ways to apply them and make them available to the masses at affordable prices. People who can clearly articulate, show worth of their ideas and dreams, who can create practical results of their quirkiness or brilliance, would create enormous success. Imagine Uranus like the new ways of consciousness, and for it to penetrate the structure of our life, there are reforms, self-overcoming, and a bit of sacrifice and a lot of patience, which is required in the fabric of our being. We do that process during the maturation cycle of Saturn, which we are now embarking upon for the next 9 months. I will cover that in the Saturn Retrograde video now and podcast in the part 2. Thank you so much.